Hey guys, it's time again for my yearly edition of 6 horror movies that are actually scary. Volume number 10. Oh my god. I'm sick, it's raining outside, the perfect time for horror. Make sure to check out the other videos in this playlist, and if you like the video, please subscribe. It means a lot. First is the found footage eco-horror movie The Bay. What a lovely, disgusting surprise this was. My watch list is more engorged than managers forcing AI on their employees, so I don't think I would have gotten around to watching this if I didn't do a tier list video for found footage movies. And in between all the lazy filmmaking, bad acting, and protagonists that need the Luigi Mangione treatment, The Bay was a massive breath of fresh air. There are movies out there with gargantuan, meteoric budgets that fail at making an entire planet look like there are more than 30 people. Yet this found footage movie made me believe, hook, line, and sinker, that the whole city was going through mass infestation and mass panic. The way the situation builds through editing choices, performances, and sheer amount of footage makes everything feel so genuine, and in turn, makes it so disturbing. And fun fact, this was directed by the same guy who did Rain Man. Isn't that wild? As this Maryland town, represent by the way, succumbs to environmental disaster, we get viewpoints from a reporter, police, a surgeon, scientist, and everyday civilians. And this not only makes the story bigger, but each brings their own creepy or tense moments. The conversations between a surgeon and the CDC are a nice way to provide exposition, but also serve as another column to the mystery. In fact, this often feels like a mystery, as all these people are gathering data and try to make sense of this chaos. And one of the scariest aspects to this, similar to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, is that everyone's playing catch-up, and the damage is always worse than they expect. Gore doesn't usually scare me, but here it looks so deeply painful and felt so, I don't know, unfair. Seeing these people go through such horrifying afflictions was haunting to see, and I wanted to unsee some of it. This is the kind of horror that is more about the big picture, the escalation, rather than specific scenes. But I will say, there's a flirty home video of a young couple in the lake that goes horribly wrong, and that really scared me. This is a good one.
They're just yelling. Are you okay?
Next is Invisible 2, Chasing the Ghost Sound. Yeah, that's a title. This is a 40-minute movie available on YouTube. It's technically a sequel, although I did not see the first, so I don't think you need to either, but the main thing that must be addressed up front is that the subtitles are an issue. I'm hearing a lot of undeserved generosity, almost on the level of reviews for Wonder Woman, or the number of times you say interesting on a date with a boring hot person. There's a lot of, the subtitles aren't perfect. No. They're terrible. And the first 5 minutes I found very hard to get through for this exact reason. Luckily, I'm a pretty fast reader, and after those 5 minutes, I got into the rhythm of having to be a fucking translator for translation. And I'm glad I stuck with it. The fact Invisible 2 hobbled itself like this and still gave me such a captivating and terrifying experience really shows how well it understands fear. Essentially, it's a ghost hunter movie, but one that focuses on sound rather than visuals. The reason it worked so well for me, where movies like Paranormal Activity didn't, isn't just that the actors here aren't awful, but it's the fact that these scenes build up the suspense without wasting your time. Everything here serves the story and the atmosphere. It's solid escalation. And these sequences of holding the mic out and trying to get a glimpse of a sound are so simple, yet put me on edge. We can feel our nerves tighten up. And then we get the climax, which may make you shit your pantaloons. Lack of music, the camera work, the honestly terrific performance from the lead actress, all of it creates one of the most frightening and accurate depictions of being alone in your house and thinking that maybe you're not alone. Have you ever heard a sound in your place and you start wandering around your living room checking locks and windows? Imagine that, except there might actually be a ghost there. Oh, and then the lights turn off. Yeah, fuck that. It's so well done. Now, a lot of people complained that the thumbnail for this movie gives away the final jump scare, and they're right, but it's not a jump scare, and the fact it's not a jump scare makes it remarkably more terrifying. I don't know how to phrase it, it just puts you there. total and complete immersion and surrender to that moment. So that's Invisible 2 Chasing the Ghost Sound. Crap subtitles, great acting, clever use of audio, and a finale for the ages. I gotta thank all the comments I got from people encouraging me to push through. It was worth it. Next is Chime by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. I mention his name specifically because all of his horror movies have a vibe to them that's quick to identify. You can point to the long takes, the slow camera movement, the desaturated visuals, but there's such a simple thing he does that not only makes his movies stand out, but renders these scenes all the more unnerving. And that's this: almost no music. And with the right ambient sounds, the right shots, the right concepts, that lack of music makes you feel so much more present, that what you're seeing is really happening now. This also makes a murder scene harder to watch because it feels like an actual death happening before your eyes. The sound, the character reactions, the resistance of tissue against blade, it's like watching an elegant snuff film, and it left me a bit shaken. Chime taps into the fear, not so much of the unknown, but the off-putting, the surreal, like the world itself is on a harsher tilt. The film is also very well shot, and the use of dark blue is striking. It looks more like The Spy Who Loved Me than standard horror, and I dig it. I do wish Chime had a stronger finale. The plot introduces these elements, gets you to ask questions, and that tension and the resulting violence did creep me out. But then it doesn't resolve anything in a satisfying way. And sure, many horror movies become less scary when they reveal what's behind the curtain. But I can't help but feel like in exchange for answers, we didn't get much else. Saying that, I do want to watch it again and see what I missed. It doesn't have the climax of others on this list, but the first 25 to 30 minutes of this 40-minute film had me anxious, impressed, and horrified in equal fashion. This all sounds very slow and subtle, and it is. But if that's your thing, I'd say check this out. Next is Bring Her Back. I'm seeing a growing number of people tired of grief horror and trauma horror, and I get it. Sometimes it can feel like the horror is really a garnish for what's actually a tragic drama, and that's not what the trailer promised. So whether you like this movie or not, I think we can agree that this does not skimp on the horror. Wow. Yeah, it's a story about loss, but it's more like loss of blood because holy shit, bloody rituals, bloody injuries, and a couple harrowing scenes that I can best describe as, no honey, we don't eat that. The makeup and acting makes this gut-wrenching to witness, and I really do appreciate the violence on a conceptual level. Yes, grief is a sad thing, but as someone who lost a sibling not too long ago, grief can create many more emotions. I'm not ashamed to admit how many objects I've hit with other objects. The grieving process can be a violent, furious thing, and to see that reflected with actual violence and depravity on film, I don't know, emotionally, it made sense to me. But let's talk about what actually scared me. The intro is a terror. Staticky home videos in non-found footage movies can be very effective, and to open this way really starts the movie firmly on the gas pedal. All the rituals I found very disturbing both visually and psychologically, and the main villain is so unrelenting in her goals that she made me nervous every time she was on screen. Bring Her Back also happens to be a good film on its own. The acting is superb from everyone. Sally Hawkins' performance is wonderfully unhinged. The boy, who's like Mowgli from Jungle Book crossed with a piranha. The vulnerable younger sister. The older brother trying to stay strong and sane. They're all fascinating characters with impressive performances behind them. That's two movies, The Bay and this, where the gore actually scared me. Maybe it's because it's not blood for blood's sake. Maybe the pain or a higher horrible purpose has to be there as well. And the whole film, from how characters behave to the rituals, had this sickness, this desperation that ensured that I never felt safe as a viewer at any moment. It's emotional, it's disturbing, and it's got plenty of stains you can't wash out.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. You didn't know. It's not your fault.
How'd she die?
Piper.
She's okay. She's drowned. Oh, who's got? Oh, it's windy.
At number 2, we have Storytime. This is the shortest film I'll be chatting about today, and it's directed by Dylan Clark, the same guy who did Portrait of God. And while they're very different films, I think this one is better. The hook is immediately engaging. A girl listens to a horror story on her phone, and the narrator starts to describe spooky things happening to her in real time. The narrator sounds great. I have no doubt they hired a professional voice actor. And the film plays around with audio mixing to merge the fiction and reality. The shots are precise, the editing is smooth, the scares escalate perfectly, without ever going over the top or losing the suspense once established. I love the use of color. God, it's just sexy. It's one of my favorite color combinations, and I almost never see it in film. A lot of horror shorts have similar structures, especially with their endings. It gets real quiet, and then boom! Jump scare, and then cut to black. This keeps going, and without being gratuitous, managed to invoke such cruelty that it was honestly a little upsetting to watch. My only complaint is some of the acting. The fear isn't as shocked or shaky or breathless as I think it should be in this situation, but it did not ruin the experience. Could this have been longer? Sure, but the way this is written, shot, and edited, it's kind of sublime the way it is. The link is in the video description below, and tell them I sent you. This is the kind of horror short I want to see. A swift but precise injection of fear.
One of Mr. Cresswell's sickly coughs. She listened carefully.
And last up is Weapons. What? Several of you just said. But hear me out. Weapons might be the first film I've seen that made me laugh, made me cheer, and still managed to scare me. This is a masterful handling of tone that I understand won't work for some people. This is a horror mystery with little sprinkles of comedy, like rainbow sprinkles, culminating in one of the most satisfying finales I've seen in a while. Without spoiling it, I think I found the right way to explain why that scene is so good. It's written like horror, it's shot like action, and it's edited like comedy. I love it. The main conceit is quickly set up, and so is the tension. And that tension doesn't leave. The plot goes the Rashomon route, meaning that similar events are shown from different points of view. And not only is it fun to follow along with, but all the different perspectives offer different ways to induce anxiety. The jump scares are effective not just in the moment, but they hint at the villain. So when we see something similar through blurry glass, the hairs on our necks prick up. And God, what a villain! It's such a surreal dual role, and it's hard to say which side of her I found more frightening. Is it the wolf, or the wolf in sheep's clothing? All the chase sequences are hyper intense. That scene at the gas station will rip your breath out, and the slower moments bring the scares too. One scene involving a woman with scissors is that perfect brand of quiet, unnatural horror. The acting is great. And while we're on praise, this has the most exciting camera work I've seen all year. It's just such a wild movie. The mystery is thrilling, the concepts are unnerving, the villain is devilish in every sense of the word, and the violence is uncompromising. Weapons did so much, and still found time to scare me. Nicely done.
This whole victim persona that you're taking on, it might have the police fooled, it might have...
And that's my 10th edition of horror movies that are actually scary. If you think I missed any, be sure to check out the playlist of the previous versions and click the Patreon link below to support the channel. I want to see this channel grow more next year, so sharing, subscribing, comments, feedback, all of that means the world. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I did making it. And as always, thanks for watching.